So that intro you just saw was entirely filmed on this little fellow right here, the Laowa 17mm f1.8 for micro four thirds. I've been using this lens for the last couple of months, and let's just say, I got some thoughts. While the Micro Four Loser Third system has a pretty decent selection of wide-angle lenses, if you're a manual focus boy like myself, well then you're in a world of hurt. Literally, your fingers are gonna actually hurt from trying to focus this tiny little lens with its crap focus by wire system. So I was in the market for something manual that still had the sharpness and the lightness of the Panasonic 14mm. Here comes the Laowa 17mm Micro Four Loser Thirds manual focus, 172 grams, f1.8, all at a measly $150. It's almost as if that's one of its biggest. $150 is pretty wild for a lens at that focal length, that aperture. Plenty of Chinese lenses come in at somewhere around that price, but very few match the Laowa's build quality and looks. The focus ring has just the right amount of resistance, and the aperture ring is like this interesting mix of clicked and declicked, which is kind of neat and something I haven't seen done elsewhere. I also like the lens hood that it came with, despite it not really having much of a practical use. Just in general, I really like the look of this lens. But for every pro, there must also be a con. But before we get to that, I've been mostly using this lens between f2.8 and f5.6, and goddamn, this thing is sharp. I know this. I know this is blasphemous, but I found myself cropping into my photos way more than I would normally, and the image quality holds up surprisingly well. Unlike the Panasonic 14mm, the Laowa 17mm means you can actually get some background separation, especially if you use it wide open. Oh wait, maybe don't do that? So, f1.8. In my experience, all of these cheaper Chinese lenses have noticeable issues when used wide open, whether it be layering, fringing, being soft as a kitten. But the Laowa, the bokeh can have this weird cone pie shaped thing going on, which goes away as soon as you stop it down. Then you got these weird leaks? I mean, I get it, $150. It's not gonna be perfect, but like I mentioned earlier, it's one thing for a cheap lens to flare when used wide open. It's another thing to have a Black Pro mist filter built inside of it. I like the Laowa overall, quite a bit actually. It's been on my camera pretty much exclusively for the last couple of months, and this is coming from someone who actively disliked using wide-angle lenses for photography. It's cheap, it's small, it's sharp, for the most part. If you're a manual focus boy like myself, living that Micro Four Loser Thirds lifestyle, then this lens should be right up your alley. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to add like and subscribe graphics. Remember to add